Let's go!
Hey Wizards. This week we were supposed to talk about cosplay. I don't really cosplay either. Some of you guys don't. I don't. And there's nothing against it. I just haven't done it. So I had a little bit of a hard time figuring out what I was going to talk about today. I did choose not to wear my Hogwarts uniform. Let's face it, I'm old, and I might be the oldest person on this channel. So, me still wearing a Hogwarts uniform, I would have had to fail 7 or 8 times to still be at Hogwarts. So, I think it's time that I move on and accept that I graduated years ago. I do absolutely adore Molly Weasley, though. And if I were to ever start cosplaying, I think she's who I'd probably take on. I think she's a pretty interesting character. And, she's a little older than me, but I think I could grow into it. Something I could continue doing if I were to start. Speaking of Weasleys, Ashley asked if we noticed how the weather was completely different at the Burrow than at almost anywhere else during Christmas and Half-Blood Prince. I did notice, but I do think that it's completely possible that the weather is different there than in Scotland. Isn't Ottery St. Catchpole supposed to be in like southwest England? So that's a good distance, so it's possible, though I would expect it to be a little colder than they were acting like it was. Julia, it was really cool hearing about your first rock show. My first rock show was here in Texas, and I went to go see Quick Spell, Statutory Snape, and Secondhand Magic Supplies, and Thomas and Finnegan. And that's where I met Carl of the Old 7 Awesome Wizards, Beth of the Old 7 Awesome Wizards, and Amelia of our current 7 Wizards. They're some of my wizard BFFs. It's very exciting to have had that experience and be able to maintain those relationships with people. Let's all welcome Amelia to our channel. Yay! Hi, Amelia! Ashley's question about butterbeer. Is it alcoholic? I think it's more of like a butterscotchy root beer kind of thing, but house elves can get drunk off it, so there has to be some kind of alcohol content, but obviously it's not going to be incredibly high if children can drink it. I know when we make our Muggle interpretation it does involve real alcohol, but that doesn't necessarily mean that the real thing does. Favorite fandom dream? The reason I asked this question is because I had a really bonkers one last week, but I can't remember it now except for a few pieces and snippets. So I should have probably recorded this part last week when I still remembered. It started off going to Rockstock in this really rickety, scary plane where each passenger had a steering wheel. And tell me that's not terrifying. Okay. So then we get to the airport. It was really run down and there was only one way out. So everybody who was going to Rockstock had to get in this really long line to catch their own taxi. So it was going to take forever because you had to wait for the taxis to all take the people there and then come back and get another shift and take the people there. And it's like 2 hours to Potosi from St. Louis. We started running around this airport trying to find a bus or a rental car or something that could get us to Rockstock, and we couldn't find one. We were really, really late to Rockstock. But it's the only fandom dream I've ever had. Although, if you do go to Rockstock, they give you a bus, and you don't have to go through any of that, even if there was only one way out, which is a good thing. Ashley, yours was something about Wizard Rock in North Carolina. If you haven't already, you should check out the Blibbering Humdingers and Gredden Forge and Hawthorne and Holly. They're all North Carolina bands, and they're pretty awesome. You should check them out if you haven't. If I had one galleon to buy anything at Honeydukes, what would it be? I would buy Fizzing Whizbees, because being able to levitate by using candy would be freaking cool. And I was going to say Chocolate Frogs, because they're an old classic, but I don't know if I could actually bring myself to eat a chocolate frog, because they do resemble real frogs so much, and they move. I would feel really guilty. Well, that's it for this week, Wizards. Tomorrow's Sunday, and be ready for some awesome Ashley, and I'll see you next week. Bye!
I wanna go to